The doctor thing and the city life was out of question. I mean, I didn't even know about it. So how can you think of something you don't know? I was heading the family, heading cows, but they said, since I have my time, leftover time, why can't I spend it in school? My father would just say, don't do it.
Yeah.
My mother would say, this is why you don't have to do it.
Yes.
There will always be barriers. The question is, are you ready to stay stuck, or you're ready to face them heads on and keep going?
Welcome, viewers. This is your host, Joyce Gikunju, inspirational speaker, published author, and podcast show host. And this is the Bounce Back Podcast, your self-help business show for the entrepreneur in you.
I want to read an endorsement here from someone who knows you, and she talks about the steps that you took in, putting Rwanda on the map, the global map in terms of health. And this is Maria Small, who is based in Durham, North Carolina, an obstetrician gynecologist, colleague, friend, and mentee. And she says, unlike most nations, Rwanda was able to meet the Millennium Development Goal of reducing maternal mortality by 2/3, and both dramatically increasing the number of obstetrician gynecologists in Rwanda, as well as the numbers practicing in both the rural and the remote areas. So she says that, she says Dr. Rulisa's works are grounded in health, success, and achievement of women and girls. Yeah, and he says that you're an inspirational mentor. Yeah. Anyone who is a teacher should read this book. And, I like the way she wraps it up and says, new learners and lifelong learners will be inspired. Yeah, So
I think in 2013, when I was running around, of course, looking for people, we had a program in Rwanda called the Human Resources for Health. The government had started the program to increase the number of staff in health. So I had to run to all my networks I developed, including North Carolina. I was in the US in different universities. And this is how I hired Maria, together with other American partners.
Yeah.
Rwanda had one of the highest maternal mortality, over 1,000.
Yeah.
I think around 1,300 after genocide. Women die. And now we are at 105.
105.
It's one of the, I think, decline I have ever had in Taiwan. At that time, when I told Maria that we had a target to achieve and I need people to help me, and we don't need anyone to tell us otherwise. If you can help, you be on board.
Yes.
That is how she came. So I had a target when I was chairing the department.
Yes.
I said we had at that time 40 district hospitals in Rwanda.
Yes.
And we were at that time of gynecologists, I think we were less than 30 or something, 20. And 99% of the gynecologists were in Kigali. No gynecologists in rural areas.
In the rural areas.
And so, because I was a clinician in the hospital, I saw that most of the patients who come very sick were coming referred from rural areas.
Yeah.
And that told the story that those who come are those who manage to alive. The others die in the rural areas.
Yes.
So my main aim was that we've got to fix a problem from the source. We need to train doctors who can work in the rural area and block this transfer.
Yes.
A transfer is one who survived. It means one out of others who didn't make it.
Yes.
And so then I had an ambitious goal, and the goal was that at least at the minimum, I need at least 2 gynecologists
Per hospital.
in the country.
Yes.
In 40 hospitals, that meant 80 gynecologists. And then I wanted the 20 to stay in teaching hospitals in Kigali. So that was the ambition. And so that meant I need to train 100 gynecologists.
Yes.
It was so ambitious. It was never heard of, but I said we've got to do it. So this is when I brought Maria. And the biggest challenge we had was no one could put it in their head that is doable. I mean, how do you dream of having 100 doctors when you can't even have 25 at a time?
What was the challenge?
The challenge was how to generate those numbers and resources to do it, and they saw it as too ambitious.
Did the government have a budget?
The government was very committed. The best thing with Rwanda is that the government was very supportive. The government says, whatever you need, let us know. Whatever we can, we'll help you.
Where did they get funding from?
They got the grants and government put in. So the government mobilized money from donors, and the government also topped up the budget.
Yes.
So that is the beauty of government commitment. And that is how, so she worked with me. She saw how I didn't read that. She saw how I was committed to that goal, and she would always see how when people wanted to stray around, I think they say, this is the goal, we've got to achieve the goal. This is where we're going. And
Wow, I have to read something she has written here. This book is essential reading for anyone committed to health and human rights. A common Rwandan phrase is Byose birashoboka. I said that right.
And it means everything is possible.
Yeah.
And I used to tell her that everything is possible. The thing I wanted is that it is just a question of attitude. If you believe that you can, I think more than 50% you've covered the journey. The job is done.
Yeah. Through the lens of one phenomenal individual, we experience how one person overcame devastation to embody and live that pervasive Rwandan sentiment. What is she talking about?
I think when you look at our background and whether it's a country or individuals, and when they stayed here and they heard where we come from, they could not imagine that we achieved what we achieved. And they would, and this happened to human beings, they would always want to associate you with your history. Isn't that the son of so-and-so? Is that the daughter of so-and-so? Like, don't you come from wherever you come? So many human beings have that tendency of trying to associate you and yesterday, which is wrong. People change, people grow, things change. And so what I was always trying to tell them is like, do not always see us in the lens of the past. We can do better.
I like what you're saying, because I've noticed that when you grow fast and you have a growth mindset, many people cannot relate with that speed. So the only thing that sticks in their mind is how we know you from yesterday. So it happens that when you move faster than other people of your time, people can't relate. Isn't that a mindset of, isn't that a stuck mindset?
Yes.
You know, that when someone meets, they're like, oh, I remember you from, then they relate to the past. But they cannot discuss how far ahead you've gotten, or they don't even want to know how you are able to quantum leap.
They don't care. They don't want to see.
Are we allergic to good things?
The thing is that when you break it down, these people who always want to see you in the lens of the past, especially when the past was negative, they don't want to see the future, and they don't want to accept it. The thing is not about you. Unconsciously is about them. They know what you achieved. They could potentially have achieved, but they failed on their own. And so they don't want to accept themselves as failures. And so this is why unconsciously they wanted to blame you or negate everything you did and tarnish it somehow, make sure it looks somehow ugly, because they think, how can he do it when so-and-so, when he's a son of so-and-so, when he's coming from that poor country, when he's coming from that background. That is human nature. What I learned in life area is the naysayers are not going to slow down my movement. People can be who they are, and I will keep going.
meaning then that you had to choose and surround yourselves with people who are heading in your
The right
direction.
people. Even
Yes.
in normal life.
Yes.
If I talk to you, whether it's in a restaurant or somewhere, and I find part of your conversation has negativity in it, I avoid you.
You move on.
I move on. I don't
Yes.
entertain negative. And life is full of negative things. Let them come by accident.
Yes.
But I'm not going to entertain being surrounded by negative mindset.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. Let me do another small read here. This is Patrick Nyamvumba, the general, former chief of defense staff Rwanda, and now an ambassador to the Republic of Tanzania. And he says that yours is a fascinating story. And he says that Dr. Stephen Rulisa examines the subtle but potent forces that influence our life outcomes in this thought-provoking reflection. And this is what you were saying just now. He says you explore why people from similar backgrounds choose such different life paths, drawing on your observations, deliberate listening, and profound interest in human potential. And I'm just going to read verbatim what he has said. Talent and opportunity aren't always what separate those who rise from those who stay stuck. Rather, it's something deeper and frequently invisible. This introspective, educational, and self-discovery journey challenges readers to reconsider how they view choice, success, and the behaviors that determine our fates. Knowing Stephen from childhood, the situation couldn't be further from the truth, and that this book, The Path Less Traveled, is a delightful read. What is Nyambumba talking about? This invisible...
I think as a general, he could have a more understanding of this. I have been around for some time. And I have observed the people grow. And I have seen people go up and people go down.
Yeah.
People getting promoted or being successful, whether it's in business, in military, in science, in academia. And I see, let's say people we went together to school. People have the same degree, people have the same job, the same salary, but they end up differently. Then you say education is very important for survival, for finance, granted. But when you look in any city and they ask who is the owner of that big building or that big business, education is not a significant factor that make that person be the successful investor or business person.
Yeah.
You can do it in any sector. You can do it in our career where we grew up as doctors. Not everyone ended the same way, but we started the same classes.
Yes.
And when you see in life, whether it's in politics, why do people keep going up and others go down?
Yeah.
Why do people stagnate in life and they don't make any progress? Even in farming, why do we stay in the same village, the same pasture, the same rain, and one person prospers and another one becomes poor? There is another factor that we don't know, that people just go on surface. People will tell you, depending on where you are, if you are from education background, people will say, go to school. Education is the key to success. Does it explain everything entirely? The answer is no. You've seen the highly educated are not the most successful.
Yes.
And so there is another invisible factor. People always say work hard, but they won't break down what do you mean by hard. How hard should one work?
Yeah.
There is an invisible factor. And this is what I was trying to explore. What makes this different? If you go to military, it shows clear. I mean, why do everyone go to the military training? The same batch, some become generals, others stay stuck at a sergeant or something. What makes that different? So there is another invisible factor, and this is the part I am exploring, and this is the chapter under emotional intelligence. It tells the invisible factors that people have been ignoring, or at least they don't know that it exists. Now, in my culture, my mother used to say lots of the time, in my language, they call it ubgenje, like wisdom. They would look at someone and say, as ubgenje, like, it may translate as smart, but it doesn't mean the passing of exams in academic.
Yes.
It translates to something else.
Yes.
And this is what I am exploring to say in the chapters about emotional intelligence and the invisible force that makes the whole difference that we see. Yeah.
So so that means people might not know what it's called traditionally, but they know it when they see it.
When they see it, they know it. Yeah. When they see it, they know it. So what we need is to break it down and show it exists. It is there, and actually now it is well studied.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's there. You can, and that proves the people who we're talking about, who see people in the lens of, oh, isn't he from that poor country? Isn't he a son of so and so who are very poor? Doesn't he come from that background?
Yeah.
As if the background defines your destiny.
Imagine.
The background does not define the destiny. How you think and how you operate determines your destiny.
Yeah.
It is the whole difference. It's not even in your degrees at the end of the day. It is how you think that determines who you become.
Yes.
In my book, somewhere I say it is what you achieve, what you overcome, that determines how far you go. If you want to go higher, you've got to be ready to overcome difficult barriers.
Yes.
And that determines people who will see you up will say, isn't he so and so? Because they didn't attempt to attain those barriers, to overcome the barriers, because they embraced the barriers, say, I can't reach there because you start listing all your challenges. Excuses. You accepted them.
Yes.
And when you see someone who overcame them, you start negating them and say, how can he go there? Isn't he so and so? And you start looking for all the data to throw to them. How can he be there when me, I can't be there? Indirectly, that's what they insinuate.
Yes.
Because there are barriers. How can he cheated? He must have cheated. Or he made something like that.
Yeah.
But there are clear ways it works.
So then it means you must have encountered barriers which you saw they were insurmountable, but you overcame them.
No question. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you see where we come from rural areas, from settings that didn't even encourage education. Education was not even a factor on the table. After all, but then against all odds, you pursue them. But not even education. Even when you go into education, then how do you become a doctor, a specialist, a professor, and so on?
Yeah.
You've got to become person who is ready to overcome these barriers. There will always be barriers. The question is, are you ready to stay stuck and define your barriers and keep heaping excuses, or you're ready to face them heads on and keep going? Yeah.
I love looking at the pictures in this book because I can see you have traversed the length and breadth of the continent, the whole world. You have been to many African countries, you've been to Europe, you've been to the US, you've been, and you have met with very important people, presidents of many of these countries, including our former president here in Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, who you met.
He's amazing.
Early this year, actually. Yes, for the Global Health Security meeting in Mombasa. You remember that?
Yes.
How did it feel? When you remember where you've come from, how did it feel to actually shake the hands of important people, including, presidents of other countries?
I would just say in one word that I'm just blessed. Maybe I'm lucky, if I could say. I think most of the things that happen to me, I don't think I can say it's my effort. They just come unconsciously. All I did was that I just do my best. That's the principle I embraced from the beginning. I will always do my best, and that's what I did. And during the course, I meet all these people because of my works that takes me all over the world.
But doesn't it also mean that you have to have a level of courage?
You do. Survival in this world, like I told you, the level of courage and determination to overcome barriers is the one that keeps pushing you going.
Yeah.
And if you give up at any point in life or accept mediocrity, then you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. And I also see you in a picture here with none other than the World Health Organization Director General, Dr. Tedros. What was going on there?
I knew Tedros many years ago before he became Director General, when he was a minister in Ethiopia. I was invited by one of the universities in Ethiopia as external examiner because of my former experience as a researcher and experience and academician. I used to travel several countries in the world as external examiner to accredit the systems and so on. So I met him for the first time when I was supporting a hospital called St. Paul in Addis Ababa.
Yeah.
I met him there, then he became WHO, and I sat on one WHO committee setting up guidelines. One of my research in malaria and pregnancy was taken up by WHO as a standard guideline principle. So that meant I had to go to WHO to speak on my research and so on. And so in some of the meetings, I don't remember where he was at that point when I met him, but I used to go to WHO to some committees and meetings and so on.
Where is the headquarters?
In Geneva.
Now they're in Geneva.
Yeah.
And I also see you here with Geneva. That means that is Switzerland.
Switzerland, yes.
So that means you've been to Geneva specifically for the WHO.
Yes. Well, I've been to Geneva several times, but usually I have meetings with WHO, and maybe it's one of the meetings.
Yeah.
I
also see you've been to the U.S., University of Nebraska with Professor Dele Davis.
Yes, Davis is a chancellor now of University of Nebraska. In one of my earlier days when I was looking for partnerships to strengthen our academic program in Rwanda, I met several universities in the U.S. Again, most of these destinations I was taken because of my scientific research background. I would be invited to speak in the international conferences, and then I meet these people, and we connect, and eventually I say, hey, why not come to Rwanda? You always try to bring people to Rwanda every time and come and see. Yeah.
And then Professor Nicolaides, Royal College, London.
He's one of the famous, we call him the father of ultrasound in the world. He does maternal-fetal medicine. He's one of the best maternal-fetal medicine, globally recognized.
Yeah.
And so when I was head of department and I wanted to do subspecialty training in Rwanda, I contacted him.
Yes.
And I asked him, can you support our programs to train maternal-fetal medicine? So we needed to build subspecialty programs. He gave us scholarships. So I started sending doctors in Rwanda that I trained as a gynecologist.
Yes.
So they go to King's College in London to train.
Yes, King's College.
So that is when I had connections with Nicolaides. But recently I was invited by Loyal College, which is the whole society of OB/GYN of UK called the Loyal College. They invited me as a keynote speaker to speak to them in their annual congress, and I met him.
And when you met him, what was your keynote?
I was talking about reducing maternal mortality in developing countries.
Yeah.
So the interventions that we can do and how we did it in Rwanda.
Yes.
I was always keeping a Rwandan case study.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he the one who came up with the 3D and 4D of checking how your baby...
He's doing a lot of work in that, in detecting in early pregnancies, early detection using ultrasound. Yeah.
And detection and intervention, like if you find something.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I trained in obstetrics, the first ultrasound training we did is the name we had all over. And when I did a course in Amsterdam, we were telling us Nicolaides. He was like, I didn't imagine I would meet him at one point.
And then now that we're having this conversation about, taking care of women when they're pregnant, and I want to ask you a question. When you find an issue with a woman and she's pregnant, do you encourage an operation on a pregnant woman, or is it a last resort?
It depends on the condition. Some of the condition, if they can be cured by non-surgical intervention, we prefer that one.
Yeah.
Surgery should always be the last resort.
Yeah, because I'm sure when we're talking about obstetrics, a lot of women who have their children in their later years always find that they either have a cyst or fibroids. What do you do to support a woman to make sure that you don't take her to surgery when you find her with fibroids, for example?
Now there's a lot of movement, so people popularizing cesarean section, but the clear message should be cesarean delivery should be a last resort.
Yeah.
We should always try normal delivery, and
Yeah.
cesarean delivery should be a last resort.
Yeah.
Now, depending, of course, on the condition, but there should be very clear conditions under which you have to do cesarean delivery. Yeah.
Is it true that when a woman has a cesarean section, you cut through multiple layers of skin, like there's a very thick skin between what we see and arriving at where the baby is? Is it true, or are those just stories?
Well, it depends on how people explain. When you are a doctor, you explain it differently. When you are a layman, you explain it different. The basic principle is that you cut through the skin, you go to the uterus, you cut through the uterus, you arrive at the baby. That is the simplistic way of explaining. Of course, the skin has several layers.
Yes.
The abdomen has another layer, and the uterus has layers. So, but these are for academic purposes. But for the layman, you cut through the skin, cut through the uterus, get to remove the baby, and suture back as you got in. Yeah.
Okay, wow. That means women are also very brave because of what they go through to have children. It's almost like a natural instinct that a woman wants to bring forth. So you're making her meet her dream of having children.
It's people who want to minimize it would say giving birth is a normal process. The pain that a woman gets, forget about cesarean, in normal childbirth is equal in terms of intensity to burning you alive.
What?
That's the pain they go through.
And we do
it's
it
that severe.
And again and again until we feel like this is the family size I want.
Exactly.
I think
it's
women are
so painful.
Yeah.
The pain tolerance level of women is incomparable. I tell people I can't compare to what women go through.
And I think that's why God chose women to have children. Because if it was men, the world would not be popular.
God knew. I mean, God always gives us what we can carry. So that's why He gave childbearing to women.
I think so, because if people say that if men are the ones who used to give birth, the world would not be populated. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The pain tolerance level women go through is, even patience, even the other parts of life, women are wired differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more reason why men should respect women.
No question.
Yeah.
No question about it. I hope all men can do it.
Tolerance, burning somebody alive?
Yes, that's the level of pain you could have.
So you come back from your training, you settle in, you're a clinician. Which was your most difficult operation? Or maybe we start with your first operation, and then your most difficult surgery.
Things change and people change. And, when we get to a different level, we tend to forget the past. I'm sure most of them I forgot. But, sometimes I would be on duty and do 10, 11 cesarean section, 12 per night.
One night.
So you're standing the whole day. But I remember one incident many years ago when I was a GP and working in a district hospital.
Yeah.
That hospital had two doctors. One of them was a director and another one was a general doctor, but more experienced than me. Me, I was an intern starting. There was no anesthesiologist in the hospital. So the doctor who is going to operate, you give anesthesia yourself.
Okay.
So then he had to train me how to give anesthesia. Yes. I remember I had to give ketamine. You give anesthesia, and you ask a mother to count.
Yes.
And they say, repeat after me, 1, 2, 3, until she get anesthetized and can't speak. I still remember she would stop at number 6. When I arrived at 6, then she would say 6, then I say 7, then I run, scrub, put on my gowns and come and do surgery.
Yeah.
They have to keep an eye on the head if she's still alive or breathing.
Yes.
And if I deliver a baby and the baby cannot breathe properly, I have to remove my gloves and go to resuscitate the baby.
Yeah.
And then come back and suture the abdomen and so on. That was the life.
Yes.
You were, if I could say, a complete doctor. You were a pediatrician, a gynecologist, and anesthesiologist. And I remember at that time I wasn't even a gynecologist. I was just a general practitioner. And this is the story I tell about the past. And this is where we came from.
Yes.
And when I see it now, if you do it now, you would even be prosecuted.
Yeah.
That is, you can't do that. That is illegal. So that's where we came from.
4 people in one.
Now, yeah.
Anesthesia.
You have 4 people, a gynecologist, a pediatrician, and everything. And because there is no people. And we did it and went through that.
Yes.
Now it's not uncommon to go in operating room and find 2 gynecologists and a pediatrician all standing, waiting for one baby to come. This is where we are. But at that time, I didn't even realize that that was a very complex life, or that was a very risky things we were doing. Now I can't attempt to do it. And everyone would say, well, how do you do that? That's a criminal and so on.
Yeah.
But that is how we traversed life. And that is how our health system grew up to now, up to when I was looking for people to do subspecialty programs and so on. So that is the maturity of our system, and that's where we came from. That's where it started at that time.
Yeah. So the story of
is we have subspecialty, we have ultrasound, we have MRI and CT scan.
Yeah.
I guess that is what people say. When I tell people, before you judge me, I understand where I came from.
Yeah.
So this is what I was telling the faculty who came to work with us. You just understand where we're coming from, then you can understand us before you judge us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining the way you're saying you were like a 4-in-1. And the story you're saying when you were in the district hospital and you were an intern, you were the one who's doing you're administering the anesthesia, you're birthing
because
the baby.
you are on duty, you are the only doctor there. What do? You've got to do your best and do whatever happens. And that was the life at that time.
Yeah. And the child lived, the mother lived.
Yeah, the mother lived. That doesn't say everyone lived. Of course, somewhere, somehow, many people died. And so this is the life we went through.
Yeah.
So the case that impacted me most is before I became a doctor even. I was a medical student in a hospital.
Yes.
And I asked the doctor, can I come and observe on the weekends when, before when a lot of students in a hospital, you are all crowding and a doctor, so you don't get time to run. So I asked the doctor, can I come on weekends? He said, sure, you can come. Then I was on duty. He was on duty, I was just following him. There came a stretcher with a woman in coma, unconscious. And they asked the story, they said she was attempting to deliver at home, which many people did at that time.
Yeah.
And they couldn't for one day, and then went in the next health center. And the woman was exhausted, and then they came to the hospital. By the time they came to the hospital, it was almost too late. They said the baby may die and the mother may die. So the doctor looked at the woman, examined, and said, we've got to rush to do cesarean. And I followed him in the corridor asking questions. Why do you rush? What are you going to do? Why are you going to do it? And he kept explaining to me that the fetal heart rate is very low. The baby may die in the next minute or something. I said, can I come in operating room and see? He said, sure, you can come. I scrubbed the wound.
Yeah.
He did a C-section very quickly, and the baby was tired, but was alive. So I followed that patient critically. And within 3 days, the mother was up, breastfeeding the baby.
Wow.
And he was amazed. He got stuck in my head. And I asked people in the village, they said many people attempted to deliver at home. I said, how about, do you survive there? Some die, of course, and others survive.
Yeah.
And that was the life we were in. And people had reached the level of accepting death as normal. And so part of my global health was influenced by that case, that a minor surgery or a minor intervention can save 2 lives at the same time.
At the same time.
And so that's part of why I think I became a gynecologist. I said, maybe I can save, and especially the vulnerable people, the most vulnerable of our society, women and children.
Yes.
So if a simple intervention can save 2 lives at the same time, I said I want to be that one.
How did it feel when you saw the mother breastfeeding her baby and knowing?
It's one of the best. Kept asking questions. Are you okay? Are you feeling okay? And she said, I'm perfect. She didn't know what happened. She was unconscious.
She doesn't know.
And so this is what we need in general in life.
Yeah.
So just a minor push, a minor intervention, and you unlock a lot of potential.
Wow. And I see you here talking to students in Kigali, encouraging them to be their best. Is this something that you do regularly?
I try to do, and now they know, they try to invite me in their meetings. I try to encourage them. You know, looking back at my history and my path, I know many people can drop off the wagon of their life and be discouraged by challenges.
Yeah.
So I try to tell them that despite any challenges you go through, you can make it. It is possible to make it. And I try to tell the factors I alluded here that actually the factors that matter most in terms of succeeding in any adventure is your mental attitude, is not anything about the environment. You can overcome any environmental barriers if you work on your mental attitude.
Is that what they call mindset?
The mindset.
Yeah.
Yes. So what I write there is how you think determine who you become.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people hear that you're a doctor, you're a professor. Where did you find time to write the book?
It's very interesting. During COVID, everything was shut down. And only doctors were allowed to move.
Yes.
So I was going to the hospital as any doctor in the country. We had some ticket on our cars to go to the hospital. But everyone was locked up in the homes. So one time, it was one Saturday morning, I called my children, everyone in my house. We were around more than 10 people living in my house. So I called them, we had a late breakfast and said, hey guys, you are locked up in the house. This should not be a reason to fail. How can we use this time? I usually teach about time management. And I told them, how can you use this time?
Yeah.
And I challenged everyone and I gave them a task. I said, should write down what you do. And at the end of this COVID, and I'm sure it will end, that's what I told them at one point, what are you going to show? Are you going to come up with an excuse that because it was locked down, this is who I am? Or are you going to come out better? So I said, look at this free time you have. Most of you have things you said, if I had time, I would do this. Now you have time in front of you. Yes. What can you do?
Yeah.
So when I challenged them, I went back and they said, are you practicing what you're preaching? So I threw back the question to myself and I said, what can I do in this COVID? That's when the idea came.
Yes.
So I said, when I go out of COVID, what am I going to say? I used this free time I had in front of me. And I thought about it, and I had many people have been asking me my life, how do you manage a lot of things? Where do you come from? And how do you manage to juggle a lot of things at the same time? How did you get where you got now? And all these things, I said, maybe I can write down these things. So the book was born out of COVID. It's when I had the free time, and then I wrote these things. The other time is So when I was flying, I always think of time as one of the most ingredient God gave us for free.
Yes.
To use it or lose it.
Yes.
I also have a lot of time when I find these long hauls, like let's say to the US, 9 hours in a plane. I always think, what can I do in this time?
Yes.
Am I going to just sit for 8 hours doing nothing? So I started writing.
Yes.
So then I combined my flights, my travels, and COVID is where the idea came from. So I wanted to show my kids that I have to preach what I do. Me, COVID, I wrote a book. And during my travels, I don't want to waste my time seated. I'm either reading books or writing something.
What are you reading right now?
Oh, I'm reading a lot of. I'm reading a book called Attitude. And so I usually have two books, one medical, one non-medical. And I prefer to read books that are outside my field of professional. So I read books. And I was reading another book called The Talent Code. So most of these books, either I'm reading or I am writing my ideas. And eventually, after 1 year, I found I have a lot of manuscripts. And I write on my notes on my phone when I'm in the plane. And then I transfer them to my computer, put them in a folder. And then eventually I start organizing them and looking at them. And so I said maybe one time I should write them down. This is how it came.
I forgot to ask you. I met you through someone else that we published last year.
Yeah.
How do you and Joe know each other?
We don't know each other.
Yeah.
But when I was in a conference, I met someone and I was reading a book. And he asked me, every time I see you have a book, when people go to breaks, I just read the book. I don't like to hang around. If I don't have a scheduled meeting to talk, I don't just go stand, talk, whatever comes. So I usually carry my book. Should I get some free time? I read my book. So he saw me with a book, and tomorrow he saw me with another. He said, you like reading books? And I said, yeah, I like reading. I am always a student. I'm learning all the time. And we started from there, and he said, by the way, I'm also writing a book about myself. And he said, he said, by the way, I know someone who wrote a book, and that's how it came. Yeah.
Oh, that's how you know each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me take you a little bit back to you grazing cows in the rural areas. And then here you are becoming a doctor. So back in the, in the places, in the refugee camps and all the places that you went and the countries that you crisscrossed, did a cow ever need someone to attend to? And did you ever help the adults to birth a cow?
Oh, yeah, that was routine practice. It's not one, not two. That was our routine practice, yeah.
Meaning then that then how does that compare with a human? Did it feel like a deja vu or not?
No. Yeah, to some extent.
Yeah.
But I can't say it ever helped me in my training. But it's like I carry two professions that are separate. So, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I did deliver cows several times. That was my day to day. Yeah. If you're grazing a cow and it's in labor, you've got to know how to follow it up until deliver. Yeah.
And those have no complications.
No.
Oh.
At least I never saw complication. Now I have cows in the modern farms of Frisian cows. Recently I started hearing people, veterinary officers doing cesarean for cows. I had never had it in my time. But now I hear they do it. But potentially, you can have complications.
Maybe an older cow?
Yeah, potentially it can be complications. It's the same physiology of pregnancy. Okay. So potentially complications can have. But even then, in the rural, we had experienced farmers who would do stuff and unlock the problem. Yeah.
So I'm hearing a lot of wisdom around how life works.
Yeah.
And I know you're done with this book. This is your memoir. It's out. Could this have been the book that is unstacking other books? Do you have another book in mind, or what does the future look like?
Now, when I look at this, I think I have other books to read. I mean, my mind has a lot of stuff disorganized in some way, but I think, this thing I started discovering recently of what hinders or propels people to succeed seems invisible. And this wisdom, the Bible says it that was hidden to some people, but is abundantly available to other people. I think many people need to know this wisdom, partly what we call emotional intelligence, that can help many young people who may think that success only depends on opportunities or luck or the physical or something. I think there's a lot to that people need to know, especially young people, to unlock their future potential.
Yeah. So if you were to write another book, what would it be on?
I don't have a title yet, but it should be on empowering young people to thrive and maximize their potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too. I agree with you. So as we come to the end of this conversation that we've been having, I'd like to read your book blurb because I think we have summarized your book in the blurb. Yeah. And The Path Less Traveled is the compelling story of one man's journey of resilience from a nomadic childhood and the hardships of refugee life to become a leading voice in medical academia. Orphaned at a young age, Stephen Rulisa stepped into the role of head of home, pursued education against all odds, and played an active role in Rwanda's liberation through the Rwandan Patriotic Front, RPF, movement. His path eventually led him to medical school and onward to shaping the future of medical education in Rwanda. In this powerful memoir, you reflect on the triumphs and the trials that, shaped your life and your worldview. And despite the hardships, you developed a pragmatic outlook free of self-pity and built a foundation of discipline and determination, proving that one's background does not limit success. What is an outlook free of self-pity?
That's the people who described me, but I think it's true. In life, if you look at the challenges, you get the challenges. So I don't accept to look at myself as a disadvantaged in any way. I am in life lived like any other. And so, like I explained, you get what you think most of the time. If you look at yourself as a victim, you will be victimized. If you look at yourself as having challenges, you will have challenges.
Yeah.
And I don't want to look at myself as a victim or having challenges or handicapped of any way. I don't accept. And this is the life I lead. So it's like, if you go in a long journey, like I mostly travel, there are only two options. If you look at yourself as a hunter or hunted. If you look at yourself as a hunter, then you win, you pursue things. If you look at yourself as hunted, you will only struggle with survival until you die. It's what you choose, the path you choose to take, that determine where you end.
And that's why you say here that having lived across cultures, countries, and social circles, you uncover what sets people apart, not just talent or opportunity, but the often overlooked forces of thought patterns, time management, and personal responsibility. Yeah.
In life, and I see it in the work we do all the time, how you look at yourself determines what you become in the end. And so if you don't take a personal responsibility and accept a challenge and face it head on, you're not going to solve it. If you start blaming, I don't like people who blame. If you start blaming, you are acknowledging that you are not responsible, that all the problems that happen to you, someone else is responsible.
Imagine.
And so you're telling your brain that all these challenges I have, I am not going to solve anything. It is them. And once you push the problem there, you expect them to solve your problems.
So lack of ownership.
So if you don't own your problems, you can't face them and solve them. So you get stuck in life.
Yeah.
So you should, if you meet a challenge, you should look for a solution. It is your problem, you should have your solution.
Yeah.
So I don't complain. I don't like complaining at all.
Yeah.
It pushes your brain to believe that you are not responsible. And once you say you're not responsible, you can't look for a solution because it's not your problem.
Yeah.
So you need to own a problem, then your brain can give you a solution for it.
Wow.
But if it is not your problem, your brain is not going to work. It's going to say that's not your problem. You said, is there a problem? That is what complaining means.
Yeah.
You are transferring the burden. And so your brain can't think along the lines of getting solutions for it.
Getting it fixed. Meaning it's also the same thing in life. When you encounter a barrier, your brain works overtime to overcome the barrier.
The barrier.
Yeah.
But if you don't accept that is a barrier, you're not going to fix it.
Wow.
If you say, I am done, you for sure you will be done.
And that's why we say that this book is part philosophy, part biography, and part call to action. You know, that it is written especially for young people launching into life. You know, if you're looking to change your course, if you're looking to change the trajectory of your life, to build the life you desire. So in other words, you have to have a goal.
You've got to have a goal.
Yes.
You can't arrive at a destination that you don't know.
Yes.
You've got to know where you're going, and then you mobilize how to go, and then you start the journey. But if you don't know where you're going, any direction will take you.
Any direction will take you there. And that's why I love the way we've wrapped it up over here. So it is a reminder that every step in the right direction matters, and that success is built one decision at a time.
Exactly. Yeah, one decision at a time in the right direction. Yeah.
That talks about something we haven't talked about till now, about decisiveness. That also that making a decision is decision making, and not making a decision is also
a decision.
Is also a decision. Yes.
And I say it there. I say we all live through life, and we are a product of our decisions.
Yes.
And many people fool themselves thinking if you don't make a decision, then you are okay. But not making a decision is also a decision.
Yeah.
So you know it also carries consequences.
Yes.
So you can't say I didn't make any decision and assume you won't have consequences. It also carries a consequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about sitting on the fence?
It's the same.
It's also a decision.
It's also a decision. Yes, you so decided to sit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as I wrap up, I want to say, I want to mention like 2 or 3 organizations that you're involved in.
Yeah.
And then there's the one which is the East and Central and Southern Africa, the College of, the obstetrician gynecologists. And then there's the FIGO. Let's talk about FIGO because I know something big is coming up.
So FIGO is the global body that puts together all associations or societies of obstetrics and gynecology. It is like a global body that oversees maternal health in general.
Yeah.
And so 3 years ago, I was appointed to head their scientific programs.
Yeah.
So I chair this scientific program committee. That means going through all the scientific programs. And so we have not annual every 3 years or 2 years. So now we have one of the biggest congress coming up in Cape Town. It's after, I think, 15 years is coming to Africa.
Again.
The last one was in 2008 or 9.
Okay.
So now then this one is coming to Africa, and I will be the chair of scientific program. So a big thing coming to Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When is it coming?
It's in October 5th.
October.
Yeah, 5th to 9th in Cape Town. Yeah.
Beautiful place, huh?
Yeah.
I think this conversation cannot be complete without me asking you, what is the place of faith and belief in God for you to arrive where you have arrived here?
Oh, you can't say me or anything without God. I think even my history, my survival, and my achieving whatever I achieved is good. When you look back in my past, I think there were more risks of failure than succeeding or surviving. And it is only God that helped me to come up. One of the parts I write down my values. I write down my family, God, and so on. And I say God first. And one person asked me, why do you have to put that as a value in your things? And I tell them, not only for my faith, but the spiritual part helped me to navigate in life. You know, when you have such positions and this kind of work, and if you don't set your boundaries, there's a lot of temptations that compromises integrity and a lot of things. So if you don't ingrain God factor in your life, I don't think you can survive this turbulent world.
So now that we've come to the end of this conversation about the book, The Path Less Traveled, if someone is persuaded and they want to get the book, is it available and where is it available?
I think it's going to be available in all the outlets and Amazon, on all the bookstores as much as we can. So we're going to make sure that people can have it online, accessible, and they can order online, and they can also write to me or write to many other people. We can we'll try to put them in as many bookshops as possible.
Meaning you're on social media?
Yes, I'm also on my social media.
Where can we find you on social media?
More on my Twitter and my Facebook, on LinkedIn.
So if someone was to look for you on LinkedIn, what would they be looking for?
They would put Professor Rulisa Stephen. And then on my Twitter, at Rulisa S.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. We have come to the end of a very exhilarating conversation.
Thank you.
For me, I was honored and humbled to help you put this book together. It was enjoyable because when you interviewed me the first time, I thought, wow, he asks a lot of questions. But you got me excited about the idea that you came from such a basic background, such a humble background. And I said, I'll be honored, I'll be humbled to do your book because even I want to know how you move from, Hard's boy to here. And I think the only thing I feel like you've forgotten is the role of Ketsia in getting you to write your book.
She's nagging me. They always ask, so I used to take them back to the village and they ask questions and they hear people or me talk about my past and say, really? Is that true or is that exaggerating? Like the older generation say, well, we traversed these conditions. And so when they heard about it and from other people, then they said, that story can help a lot of people. And I said, why can? He said, if you can make school, and I usually teach everyone time management. Then he says, is that what helped you run your family, run school, and do other things at the same time? And he said, where do you get that? I say, I got these principles from back in my cattle keeping principles because these resilience and hard work and time management is ingrained in you at a very early age. And so this is why they say whenever I'm telling them to do things the way they do it, they say, now we know where you got your mental capacities from cattle keeping. And he says, can you write it down? So Ketsia is very organized and very accurate in what she does.
Is this your first?
She's my second born.
Your second born?
Yeah, my first born is Sammy, he's a boy.
So it's the first girl.
Yeah, it's the first girl. Yeah.
So, and she even provided the photographs, some of the photographs for the book.
She's the one who was keeping all the photographs and putting them together and saying, this one I don't like it. Oh, this one we are not saying. So, okay.
Wow, no, this was amazing. Thank Ketsia for pushing you to write your book.
Yes.
Really exciting. That's all for today. And yes, feel at home in Nairobi even before you travel back home. And yes, your book will be on sale here. And of course, we'd like to get it out to as many places as possible and especially on Amazon as a paperback,
Yeah.
so that people can actually hold a book and read the book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So
Thank you very much.
very, the journey of 1,000 steps begins with.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. We all love goodies, and it's time for me to do giveaways on the channel. And I would like to give away dinner vouchers for GMC Place in Karen for anyone who is interested in purchasing property at Vipingo Prime, which is in Mombasa, by Optiven. Vipingo Prime is selling land where you get to build your own home, and you can invite your friends to become your neighbors and choose to surround yourself with people who share your mindset. And if you are interested in this conversation and you want to come see the property in Vipingo, you actually say that you heard about this conversation on the Bounce Back channel, come, I will give you a dinner voucher. And you can actually go and have dinner with your family, knowing that your family's future is well taken care of and that you have a home in Mombasa that you can go to. Instead of staying in expensive hotels, you can actually live in your own home and you can actually choose your neighbors. And this is called #location freedom. This is called #choosing your neighbors. It's the new upper middle class in Kenya. Let's join in this conversation. And we shall be flying down to the ground to see the property so that you can know that this is a legit offer.